I am live. Okay, so we got the OSTs playing. Been a while since I last streamed. Holy shit, this must be annoying for you guys. I just realized what the stream was on. But yeah, it's been a while since I last streamed. When was the last time I streamed? Let me check Discord logs. Shouldn't have done that. When was the last time I streamed? Like 6 days? Huh. Okay. Hello, Spike. So I'm going to be editing Berserk this stream. Let me just open up the Berserk. Oh shit. The Berserk folder. Berserk episode 7 cuts. We're on 71 right now. But yeah, I'll just go over and try to do as much as I can today. I've been kind of slow-ish with editing. That's why I wanted to stream. I want to have a huge focus to make up for yesterday's lack of editing for Berserk. So I wanted to stream like editing, force myself to edit essentially. And then tomorrow I'll get back into editing as much as I'd wanted. Because I have good news. Possibility of good news. Well, good news for me, bad news for you guys kind of thing. Kind of deal. I don't mind putting it in this stream where it's a chill stream and not like announcing it. Because it's not fully official yet. But I've received a preliminary offer for a job. Over the verbal offer and everything. So I'm still waiting for the official contract and everything. For the written offer. So it's not 100% confirmed that I have a job. But it's in like a high percentage chance of me getting a job. It's very rare for people to retract and pull back from a verbal contract. Especially when in the phone call where they gave me the offer, they said I had the best interview there. So it's very rare for them to rescind that offer. So I'm like optimistic that they'll give me the paperwork to sign this week, towards the end of this week. So it's a good news for me, obviously, starting my graduate job and everything. But obviously, I'll have less time to edit. So videos and the time that I will have to edit will be spent on Berserk. So other videos will be rare to see until I finish my graduate studying essentially my master's degree. Once I do finish that, then I'll have a bit more time to edit. Where's my face at? I'm... Oh shit, give me a second. Yeah, no face cam today, unfortunate as that is. I need to... That just made me jump. No face cam today, unfortunately. Thank you. Hopefully I get it. And the area is really nice. I went to see it on Saturday. I really liked it. So, and there's places available. I'm going obviously for a house share first to save money while I start negotiations to buy an apartment. But yeah, I'm looking forward to that. And obviously, due to the fact that I'm going to get a house share at first, I probably won't be able to stream at all in like the first 6 months that I am, living and everything. So to make up for that, I do plan to stream a bit more regularly for the next few days, the next month, this and next month. I'll try to stream as much as I can while I still can, essentially. Because if I do get the offer and everything, then yeah, when I move out, I won't be able to stream until I move into my own place, which would take 6 months to a year. But the plan is to still have time to edit, especially for Berserk, because I'm very picky about time that I spend and everything, and making sure that I have personal time. I don't know if this is... So I want to make sure that I wake up early to the days, waking up, even if work is going to be 9 to 5, waking up at 7 or 6 to go run. There's a park that's really, really nice nearby. I was surprised by a few of them. I mean, the tournament's pretty much over. Let me just pull it up now. I was actually surprised a lot about the results and how everything panned out. Let's put on the final results. See, Osemi Pompon won 6 of them, Spy Family won all of them, and Akumetsu won 1. Yeah, so let's pull up the where is the bracket? Yeah, this is pretty much it. There is a few that I wasn't expecting. Like, I thought Usugoi, whatever it's called, I thought that would reach. Yeah, Usugoi. I'm really bad with names. I think that was what it's called. I thought it would reach a bit higher, but it didn't, surprisingly. I thought Ponpon would dominate the group, but it lost against Spy Family. I didn't expect... Which one didn't I expect? I'm a Hero, I didn't expect it to be that big. I expected Real to be bigger than I'm a Hero, just because Real is by the Vagabond mangaka, so it has that credibility of everything. Battle Royale. I thought that would dominate the group just because it's called Battle Royale, but people knew it was a manga, thankfully. The Climber did well. The Climber did extremely well. I did not think the Climber would get 2 victories. Blue Lock only got 6 points and it lost against Homunculus. I've never read Homunculus. I've heard really great things about Homunculus, so yeah. But the Climber, I was very, very happy when the Climber reached the first round, because I love the Climber. So having to... Unfortunately, I mean, it might win against Battle Royale. I hope it gets to quarterfinals. It'd be nice if I could do a motion comic chapter on it. Because right now, my predictions, just based on this, they're getting better and better. Thank you, I really appreciate it. It's nice to see the feedback, noticing the improvements and everything. It's really nice. And episode 7, I really hope you guys will enjoy it as well. I'm looking to delve into more animation into the motion comics. You know, walking and running animation, stuff like that. I found a new way to really make it smoother. So hopefully you guys will enjoy that improvement in that regard. And thank you, Halpern, appreciate it. For this, I'm 100% Blue Lock will probably win. I'm going to say the Climber will win. Ponpon will probably win. And Siren will probably win. Fire Punch will probably win this one. Otoyamagatari was surprisingly very, very popular. So I don't know if both of them are very highly regarded. I'm gonna bet on Vagabond winning this one though. Unfortunate, because Vagabond will be put up against Fire Punch. You know, it would have been nicer if, you know, if they were in different sides or something of that sort, but whatever. I'm not planning to alter it. I plan to edit Vagabond on my own way down the line in the future anyway. Spy Family will probably win this one against I'm a Hero, and 20th Century Boys, I'm guessing, will win against And then Blue Lock will probably win against the Climber, unfortunately. Pon Pon will win against Siren. Honestly, I won't be surprised if Fire Punch wins against Vagabond. But the good thing is, that's a good thing is, if Fire Punch does get an anime while I'm working on stuff and everything of that sort, then the Fire Punch project, I'll just release what I've done, and I'll cancel it, and the series that lost against Fire Punch will have its chance to fight off against whoever it would have fought off against, and if it does well, then it'll receive maybe a finale. Obviously, it won't reach the championship, but it will. I'll see if I can get it a movie for Vagabond, or even a season or something of that sort, just to compensate if Fire Punch ends up being dropped, kind of like a redo if it gets an anime. It'll be for everything, not just Fire Punch. Any series, if they get an anime, then it'll be like a redo of sorts. And here, I'm guessing Spy Family will win. So it would be Blue Lock versus Pon Pon. I think Pon Pon will win this one. And then Fire Punch will win. And then Fire Punch will probably win against Pon Pon. I don't mind if Pon Pon reaches that high. I've heard a lot of good things about it. Finale is a good thing, reaching the finale, because it means that they get a movie. I think Pon Pon having a movie adapted to it rather than a full season would do it justice, I think. Because I'm more likely going to put higher production on the movie than the season. So maybe I should put movie for the champion, but you get more content out of a season. So out of a season, you get like 13 episodes. Let's just say 12 episodes average, which is like what? 4 hours worth of content? 3-4 hours? How much is it? Yeah, 4 hours worth of content. But comparing that to a movie, it's like 1 hour, 1 hour and a half. So you get double to nearly triple the amount of content. Yeah, it's just more worthwhile to put the champion as the season, just because of the magnitude of hours of content that you'd get compared to the movie. Even if the movie production will be high compared to the season, obviously due to it being so short. Do you plan on editing Baki? I plan to edit in the fights for Baki only, but it's hard to find the time, obviously, with the amount of different things that I'm editing. This is the progress. Shit, it might not show up here. Ah, it is pinned. Thankfully, I have it pinned. I've just cleaned my drive. Give me a second while Premiere Pro loads. I've been finding a good amount of OSTs as well off stream. They've been increasing. I have over 5,000 OSTs now. I'm still in the recency kind of thing. This is how much I've done for Slam Dunk video so far. 21 minutes. I'm expecting it to be a 4-hour video. So yeah, it's going to take a while to finish the Vagabond video, but I'm hoping to finish it soon. You know, hopefully by the end of this month. Hello, Dundee. Yeah, I'm good. But yeah, I'm gonna put a lot of time in editing this month and next month. Obviously, due to if I do get a job and that all goes about and I get the contract, I want to give you guys as much content before I kind of start to become silent for a little while I start the job and try to balance out the new factor in my personal life. But I'll still work on the projects that I have. The ones that will be high priority, really high priority, will obviously be Berserk. That will be the highest priority any time, and any extra time that I have will go into the tournament winners. So I'll the tournaments, just because I have a job doesn't mean I won't work on them, but just take a bit longer to release. And any other time will be spent working on Hunter x Hunter, as well as the Shumasara Valkyrie project that I plan to do, where I'm fully immersed in the fights. But obviously it depends on the amount of personal time that I do end up having to edit, because when I move and start the work, I also do want to join a sports club and run on a daily basis and go out with my co-workers, wherever we'd go out there and all of that, whether it be pub or just going around and chilling. So because of that, the amount that I'll have editing would be fairly low compared to like what I realistically want to do, and also gym. So yeah. It's gonna be exciting though. I'm looking forward to it. Hopefully you guys will enjoy the content as well. Thank you. But yeah, going back into the tournament, there's a few unexpected placements and who won and who didn't win at the end of the day. I kind of wish that Innocent would reach the high, but I mean, I plan to cover Innocent anyway in the near future. So, whatever. And with Innocent, I'm probably going to cover it with movies just because I want to... Innocent is like one of the best art in the industry. So, I want to give it justice with a very, very high production kind of approach. So I don't ruin the experience. Alright, good night, Leon fan, thank you. And thank you as well, Dandy, if I didn't say that, if I forgot to say. But yeah, I think I'd be able to balance it fairly efficiently. Yeah, I'm not taking this OSD. I'm really good at, you know, sorting out and allocating time. I mean, I've been able to balance gym and applying to work while editing videos on a regular basis throughout this year. So taking those skills, the scheduling skills, and applying it to work will hopefully allow that. I don't plan to take overtime, so when I go to work, I want to work 100% to finish work 9 to 5, rather than the people who work 70% and ending up having to work 99 or something. I don't want to end up being that kind of work. I want to get into work, finish it in time, leave work, go home, all that shit. And obviously with me looking to do shared housing, depending on the rules of the house, I'd be busy with cooking and whatever it may be, if there are like you know, rotations of days someone cooks dinner and shit like that. It's just a turn up essentially, just for looks essentially. So like a mixture of both basically. Like the body fat percentage that I'm looking for is like 15%. As long as I get like visible abs, very decently visible muscles, then yeah, whatever. After that, it's just maintaining that. Which doesn't take a lot of time, thankfully, especially with the weight and the position that I'm at right now. Like realistically, it'll only take a few months if I take it seriously. And you know, I've got enough to take it seriously. Like I take intake enough protein, creatine, and go to the gym enough to be able to do micro tiers on a regular basis. So realistically, I'd want to achieve that by the end of the year. But if I get too busy and I'm not able to keep up with a consistent gym schedule, then next year, September, is like the end goal kind of thing. If I can't reach it by the end of this year, which I should be able to, but just in case, like I get extremely busy, since I am working full time while also studying for a master's degree. But thankfully, with this company, they do give a lot of support with you know, studying and everything. So they give college days, is what they call it, and you know, days off to help support and revise for exams. So like I wouldn't have to work and study at the same time. I would have some personal time, which is why I'm really glad about this company. And the place, really, really good. Green, exactly like I'd want. Like when I saw the area, I was like, holy shit, this is what I imagined my retirement home to be like. So like if I can find a forensic accountant role in that area, then I'm just moving there forever. So like in 20 years or something, switch up companies to a forensic accountant role, and then that's it, staying there forever. If there's no forensic accountant role, then I'll probably ditch it after like 10 years, 20 years, and come back when I retire. Because I do want to work as a forensic accountant, whether it be for 5 years or 10 years, however long it is. Not for a long time, but it's like my dream job, so I do want to do it for a little bit. Get to a senior position, earn 6 figures, ditch. Which I can still do as an auditor, because I can essentially get promoted to senior auditor, and then after a while, after like 20 years or something, like 20, 15 years, get promoted to a partner, earn 6 figures, and then ditch. But I do want a forensic accountant role. The quicker I ditch though, the better. So I can even imagine me in my 60s editing manga. I don't see myself disliking manga, so yeah. Oh, Pog. Good luck on that. I'm guessing like a like a master's degree or something of that sort with like work experience. That's what I'm thinking it. I did. Yeah, you're not in the UK. Yeah, I just remembered. I don't know why I assumed it would be the same in the UK. But I'm guessing it's something like that. Unless you're younger than I thought you were. Jesus Christ. Yeah, I thought you were older than that. Ah, it's so humid right now in my room. And UK in general, Jesus fuck. Oh, Pog, good luck with that as well, Dandy. And there we go. I won't spend too much time. That should be enough for this one. The main focus on this specific panel will be the background and the hair, obviously. One thing that I saw, which I really want to... Let me... Let me find something. Someone link me something. This. But yeah, it's weird here in Sweden when it comes to studying. In particular, once you graduate, there's not much other than just the work. Oh yeah. This is what I saw. I did not like this OST. Yeah. Delete. Like this. I want to get into that. Bit more like fluidity into the scenes a little bit. Not as much as this. Some of it is a bit exaggerated, but just like stuff like this. A bit more fluidity into it. I'm thinking of doing the typesetting thing. I don't know if I'd like it, but it might be good just to really set a specific flow. But I don't know, because I like seeing the text, because obviously the main audience is myself. I like seeing the text show up, and for me to read at my own pace rather than doing that. Yeah, I saw that. That was unfortunate. Shueisha took him down. I hate magazine companies and essentially copyright law in Japan. There's no such thing as fair use there. It's so unfortunate because those videos are fair use. His Jujutsu no Kaisen video were redraws of panels. He wasn't using the panels themselves. He redrew the things and animated it. A lot of scenes were animated and everything, and they still took it down, which is just like, what? Like, forget fair use and copyright. This was nothing to do with copyright. Yes, he was using the image of the characters and the story itself, but he redrew it. It's pretty much an anime at that point, like close to as a fan animation as you can get. So it's kind of cringe that they took it down. And like, when it comes to the percentage of fair use that I put in the videos, it depends on the the amount of transform. I forgot the word. Holy shit, blanking out on that word. But yeah, so like the normal motion manga videos that I do on fight videos and the old Shomasu no Valkyrie videos, the percentage of fair use that I'd give to that is like 30-40% of fair use. Probably even less. You know what? 25% fair use is probably the amount of fair use that I'd give to it when it comes to fair use and everything. Transformity, and the motion manga stuff that I do with Berserk, I give that a bit more, even episode by episode. Like the first episode, I'd give the transformity and the fair use aspect like 50%, but what I'm striving towards with every single improvement is to reach that like 70% kind of range. But Yuki was 100% fair use, nothing to do with copyright, nothing at all. But yeah, like this is how I look at the fair use and everything. I put 25% fair use possibility because this is at the end of the day, which is why I'd never fight against these companies to. Oh, I just realized that the stream reset for whatever reason. But yeah, anyway. Which is one of the reasons why I don't plan to ever fight these specific things in court ever. If I get taken down, I'll just move on, because especially when it comes to these videos that get taken down, because the majority of videos so far that I've been taken down are the ones that are in the 25% range that I put them in. Like I agree with the decision. It's like whatever. I leave the decision up to Viz, Shueisha, whatever magazine has a hold of the series. If they don't want it up, whatever, take it down, don't care. There are other platforms that I can put it up in where it doesn't reach a large amount of people and push them to read the manga illegally. So I can essentially just reach the people who already read it in sites like Mangadex and stuff like that, which is obviously through Discord and everything. But like videos like this, so far they haven't been taken down. So far. Like my Berserk project has been up for like 7 months now. I haven't received a single copyright strike. And obviously I'm not going to be like lax about it. With Promised Neverland, whenever that releases, it's going to be in this near the 70% fair use kind of range. So I'm hoping that they'll leave it up, but there's still a chance, seeing how Yuki, who is in there, forget 100%, he was in the 120% fair use aspect. They'll probably still get taken down, which is why I'm just going to release it in a separate channel rather than just on Studio Amayas. 100% just releasing it on a channel called Promised Neverland. Every project, Hunter x Hunter, Promised Neverland. I'm assuming Fire Punch will win this tournament, so Fire Punch. All these projects and the movie for. The only thing that I'll probably release on Studio Amaya will be like the movie for Osami Pompan. If it does reach the finals, then I'd release that on on Studio Mice, because it's just a video. One video getting one copyright strike, because yeah, whatever. After 3 months, the copyright strike will be gone. Oh, but yeah, the funny thing, I'll show one thing. Let me find it. Not here. Let me find it. There it is. I've got too many things open right now. I've got 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 backups now for when the MISD channel gets taken down. I need to stop creating so many backups. It's got random profile pics for each one of them. Got Slam Dunk, Domino Ace, Hunter x Hunter, Berserk, Slam Dunk, Innocent, and then One Punch. So that whenever one gets taken down, I'll move on to the next one. I wouldn't have to create a next channel. I don't have to go through the annoying process. And then just go there. Which was the Record of Ragnarok backup. The Record of Ragnarok videos are in the archive, which will never be used to upload videos. The archive is literally just me. Every time I upload a video, I put it in the archive. It helps me in general to know how many videos I created as well. And have a YouTube link for the Word documents, although a lot of YouTube videos are blocked worldwide because of the OSTs that are used. But by the end of this month, the Patreon check will cover expenses for a 2 terabyte drive that will have all the videos in one place. So rather than clicking on chapter by chapter links for drive links to find videos the way that it's set up now, there'll just be a drive folder underneath the specific series. So you click on the drive folder and you'll find all the chapters, all the videos in just one folder rather than clicking link to each video. So it'll be a bit more easily accessible, and it'll be a yearly subscription. So that kind of method and system will be used for at least a year, and seeing how I might be able to get a job, it'll be sustainable for more than a year. Thanks, and no problem. Hopefully it'll be set up as soon as possible and everything will be good on that part. It is a shame though that this month's episode was that short for Berserk, only 20 minutes long. Views have been okay so far. Obviously, like, nowhere near the highest views that I have on the channel, but I don't expect high views on the Berserk projects. But like overall, wait, is there even motion to do in here? Yeah, I'll motion him standing up a little bit. Depend on how much I motioned in the previous one. But yeah, the views have been decent compared to last episode. Especially looking at the fact that I haven't promoted it on this channel yet in the community post, which usually gets it 50 to 100 views or so, depending on a different amount of factors. But around 100 people, sometimes 1,000 people click, but it depends on the type of picture that I use. I'll use a bit more of a better thing to click at. And we'll see how much it promotes and everything. but I'm expecting it to reach like 1,000 views by the time I release episode 7. Because there aren't going to be any like huge videos that I plan to release in the Amias D channel that would be used to cross promote to the Studio Amias channel. Because that's like the good thing with the Amias D channel. Whenever a video blows up, the people tend to click on the more people tend to click on the end credit cards and everything, and checking out my other work like the Studio Amias videos, and that helps boost videos in general for that channel. But there aren't going to be any viral videos in that channel for a while, for a really long time. Which one is this one? Like for a really long time. I got Slam Dunk coming up. I got Domino Ace coming up videos. I got Haikyuu videos coming up as well. So it's going to be like a real very deviation from the content that I usually put out. Probably take like months and months until we finally get back into track, and until we get into fights that are a bit more viral. Like the ones that I can think of that would get in the six-figure views, six-figure views wise is shouldn't use six-figure because it sounds like I'm talking about money, but 6 view amount is like Chainsaw Man. What else? My Hero Academia videos and other One Punch Man videos that I have somewhere in the list and stuff like that. I'm looking forward to releasing it though, especially the Slam Dunk video. I really like that match that I'm editing right now in Slam Dunk. It's the second time so far. I've read it 2 times since I read the series just a month or so ago. And when the video finally releases, I'm looking forward to reading it multiple times as well. I'm hoping that the movie that's coming up for Slam Dunk will cover that fight, or soon cover that fight, because if it doesn't, then it's really hard for me to motion a series like Slam Dunk because there aren't high quality panels available. Jesus, where is it? Yeah. But yeah, hopefully tomorrow I'll be back into editing, especially Berserk. I want to edit a lot on Berserk. I want to stay. I've been like ahead of schedule for a while with Berserk, and having the days off on Saturday and Sunday. Well, although I did edit something on Saturday. Oh no, I don't think I did. So getting back Saturday and to make up for Saturday and Sunday and continue on with high productivity will be really beneficial. For when I end up, starting full time and work and everything like that. So I'm not behind, even if I have to sacrifice a week to try to get used to living in these new conditions. I'll still be able to be on top of Berserk, because realistically, obviously, I'd finish episode 7 and 8 before I start work, and episode 9 will have to be being produced. Already a decent chunk of it would presumably be produced before I'd move out and continue production in my new place and finish it by 1st of September. The plan at first, with the idea that I wouldn't have a job by the end of this year, was to make sure that I release 2 episodes in December, but that's not looking like it won't happen. Unfortunate, but what can you do? Because I wanted to have the season end in a fair, like a even number kind of thing, like an OCD thing, or more than me being strict on myself with productivity. Because first episode released on the 1st of January, I really wanted to finish this series on the 1st of December, just to have it be throughout just these 12 months. But it looks like I might have to delay like an episode or so. And the worst thing about delaying an episode of Berserk is it has to be delayed a full month, rather than like a week or so, because it's a monthly schedule. And it looks like it'll be a monthly schedule for a really long time. Although there is a possibility of me making enough revenue with the way that I spend and the ability of how much I'll be able to save. If I put in a decent amount of time and money into stocks without, spending all my savings, and after buying the manga that I buy every single year, I may have some revenue to hire someone to Photoshop for me, because that will really increase productivity. Especially since all they'll have to do is the premature photoshopping, like just cutting out the panels, and then if they have enough time, cutting out as many people as they can from the panels. So like they cut out the panels, they give the work to me, I go over it, and then I highlight what I want to motion, they cut the things that I'd want to motion, and then all I'll have to focus on is putting future things, like the deep cuts that I need to cut to actually do fluid motions. Like in here, I don't do full cuts in the beginning, in the initial cutting. I just cut the person that I would motion. Oh. The other stuff will be done when I do the video editing. So the legs, if I need to cut legs or anything of that sort, it's only done later. So like if I can hire a video editor to help with that, then that would be like really useful. And the thing with that is, wait, give me a second. This is the revenue that I'm expecting. That's if I... Bleh. I don't think this will be done. Let's just delete that. Because that's if I stream on a daily basis, but I don't plan to stream, so let's just delete that. This is the revenue that I'm expecting. This is monthly, this is yearly. So. There's probably a few expenses that I didn't include. But like small expenses. This is like a very rough thing that I made just to have an idea. It's not fully into detail. But on average I'll have 7,000 to save on a regular basis. Hopefully, if I follow this plan. Which I'm really hoping to have. So I can use some of that to buy stocks, and maybe use some of that to hire an editor to do some photoshopping for me, so I can continue with my productivity. Whether the Photoshop would be like, I'm probably going to be Berserk stuff, just so I can edit more than just Berserk throughout my time, especially during the first 3 years. After the first 3 years, I'll have more time. After I finish my masters, and to clarify on that, it's not an actual masters; it's the master's equivalent degree. It's the same level as a master's. It's not called a master's, but it kind of is a master's because it's the same level as a master's. It's an ACA degree. But yeah, once I finish that, which should presumably take 3 years, I'd have a bit more time to myself. You know, I wouldn't have to have days where I study or anything of that sort. I wouldn't have hours where I'd have to spend on my day to study. It'll just be waking up at 5 a.m. or something, running or going to the gym, and then having 6 to 8 to edit, going to work from 9 to 5, and then coming back home at 10 past 5 or something, and then, well, football club, all that stuff. And or the football club obviously would be once a week or something, football club or tennis club or whatever I join, and I'll have essentially the evening till night to myself if I don't go out. There's going to be days in the week where I go out and days where I go club, days where I go sports, days where I just go outside, but the days where I don't, I'll have a lot of hours to edit in the morning before I start working and at night. Because realistically, if I work like 2 hours in the morning from 6 to 8, that's already 2 hours a day editing. I could do my berserk stuff in the morning and then go to work 9 to 5, and then I'll come back, and then from like 6 to 9 or something, or 6 to 8, or 7 to 9, editing something else, whatever project, 1 hour on one thing, 1 hour on another thing, and then boom. And the weekends I'll have it all to myself. Obviously the majority of it would be to relax, because that's the point of the weekend, but I would have the ability to edit a few hours, which is going to be fun. I mean, because editing for me is fun enough, but I still want to, go outside when I can and everything. I don't want to ruin my personal life just because I have to work and edit at the same time. A good balance would be perfect. So I'd still edit like 6 hours. So realistically, I'd edit 4 hours a day on weekdays after I finished the study and master's degree, and then 6 hours on the weekend. So on average, I'd put in like 30 hours a week on editing, which is a good average. That's like the average that I'd get probably now, or just a few weeks ago or something. Well, now my average is going to be a bit higher. So today I'm only going to edit 2 hours. I'll clock the hours that I do on a regular basis, so that this week I want to put in a lot of hours. I'm going to put in a lot of hours, and as many weeks as I can. Obviously, I still have to have some free time. I'm doing my theory and practical test for studying, rushing it a bit, because that'd help with like job and everything. So like I still have to have some personal time, but studying for theory isn't gonna take a lot of time, and I need to book. Speaking, I need to book my practical sessions. I'm doing an intensive course, which is learning everything in 1 week. Doing 7-hour days learning to drive, and then the rest is just going to be editing. I'm going to do a lot of editing, a lot of gaming too, but a lot of editing. I'm going to put in like 50-hour weeks on a regular basis, except with the weeks where I can't, obviously, but when I can, I'm going to do that so that I can consistently, essentially, release as much content as I can, finish as many big projects that I can, before I have to move out, and won't be able to put out as many content as I would. When I get the contract, I'll make a stream and to announce that the productivity would decrease because it's not official yet, obviously. And I would do like a final stream and everything, of sorts. Final stream for now, kind of thing. Well, it's not like a I'll leave forever. I don't plan to leave the motion manga industry. I have a lot of vision of what I want to improve and what I want to get into, and the amount of impact that I want to leave into the specific industry, and how I want to improve it and everything. So I got a lot in my mind of what I want to, the amount of impact that I want to leave in here, and I haven't done that yet. I haven't done the videos that and reached the quality that I want to reach. So I'll never leave editing videos, motion manga videos. It'll just be, you know, activity from it. I'll try to be obviously still active on Twitter or anything of that sort to update whenever I can update. Other monthly updates will be a bit weird. Weekly updates, I mean. Like now I do weekly updates. Those updates will be weird when I have like really dead weeks where I'm editing for like 10 hours in that week. Because the time all goes to berserk. And the only thing that will move up in productivity and percentage will be berserk. I think the one thing that I'll miss a lot would be streaming. Despite me not, you know, obviously it's not like I'm a big streamer or anything. I'm not streaming to, you know, 30, 40, 50 people or something like that. I'm only streaming to, like, on average, like 4 or 5 people or something like that. But it's still like really, really fun. I love talking. If you can't tell, with the amount of times that I ramble in every single stream about random shit, I love talking. And stream is a format for me to just talk a lot and essentially be as selfish as I can with my talking, because it's kind of expected. So that's the one thing that I'd miss for like the first 6 months or a year when I move out, when I live in a shared house. But as soon as I move out and buy my own apartment, I'll be able to stream again, and I'll make up for those streams with like regular, whether it be daily streams or whatever, or weekly streams, or, you know, streams as much as I can. More likely than not, it'd be like Friday, Saturday, Sunday streams, because those are the ones that I'll be able to do without feeling like extremely tired. Well, forget Friday. Friday I'll just go with my co-workers to like a pub or something. It'll be Saturday, Sunday. Saturday and Sunday streams would be the streams that I'd have on a regular basis. So it'd be like normal, essentially. It'd be like my schedule now, where barely once a week or twice a week. I look forward to that though, because I have fun with this schedule. And it helps me like push myself to edit when I don't feel like editing. Like today I didn't feel like editing, but I really wanted to edit. So I put on the stream and boom. We did a few images that we cut off Berserk. Easy. 10 images essentially, which I wouldn't have done if I wasn't streaming. Tomorrow I'll try to do like 50 images. 50, 60 images. Because I need to up the productivity. I don't know, I might play around with that a little bit more later, but for now I'm not planning to mention that. What does she do in here? It looks like this leg is lifted up from the ground while her whole body turns, as well as her head. So I'll cut the whole body. Because I want to do that full turn. As I said, I want to get into fluidity. And the point of episode 7 and the things that I want to delve into with episode 7 is that fluidity aspect, where I make the whole body move. And leg movements, walking, running. I experimented with running before in the first episode. I didn't like the outcome of it. It looked okay, but I didn't really like it as much. Some stuff were a bit weird, but I found a better way. So I'm back into that, experimenting with the walking, running, especially in an episode like this. This episode would have been dull if I'm not planning to include as much motioning stuff, because it's a lot of talking. You know, it's right after the exposition. Right after what happened last episode, which is the Zod fight. So there's a lot of exposition and a lot of like, focusing on characters. So it's like a good episode to focus on the motioning aspect of it, to really pop out the characters, as well as the scenes that they're doing it in. So like halfway through the episode, there's the hunting. So there's a few scenes in the episode, which is what I'm splitting it up by. Scene 1 ends soon with this one, which is I'm planning to Photoshop all of scene 1 by the end of today. Cut that up. Scene 2 is Guts swinging his sword and then talking to Griffith about why he saved him, and then and then seeing the king and all that. That's scene 2, as well as the talks that happen after that interaction. So that all that is scene 2, and scene 3 is the final scene, which is when they hunt. So like if I go to pictures, scene 1 ends here at image 85, and then 86 all the way to like shit. Should have made it into 2. Because there's 2. 86 all the way into the second folder, and the second folder goes all the way until 77 is all one scene, which is the Guts and Griffith centered scenes, which is why it's one scene, because it ends at a perfect note of Guts saying what he plans to do. And then the final scene is the hunt, which is going to be the most annoying scene to edit, because for this one, I don't plan to just do what I did in the second episode, I think it was, where I made the wolves just move. I want to go full effort into it and really make the leg move. So I want it to be like an actual jump where the legs move, not just an image, going swinging, where everything is moving. As well as in here, I want this to be fluid, where I make the legs go to the right and then jump into the front and so on and so forth. So it really puts it up. It's going to be the hardest emotion. It's going to be this hunt where they're chasing. This panel in particular is going to be the hardest emotion. One thing that I want to do, and I think it's one thing that I'll probably do, I don't know when I'll do it, probably after the whole season is done of Berserk. I want to go back to the first episodes. In general, go over every single episode and really fix a lot of things. So go over the first episode, fix the panels that I really didn't like, motion the stuff that I can motion now, really make everything fluid and really fix everything. I want to dedicate a lot of time to fixing the season and releasing a full-fledged, fully produced season for the highest quality. I don't know when that'd be, because obviously I want to continue with releasing Berserk episodes, and if I focus on going back and fixing old stuff, I won't be able to release new stuff, which is why I'm not doing that for a while. I want to focus on releasing the new stuff, obviously, since right now people aren't excited as much for the Golden Age arc. People are excited for what I'm going to do after the Golden Age arc, which is either Black Swordsman, or if Studio Taka actually releases something, then and continues to pick up with the productivity enough for me to say, you know what, they'll finish Black Swordsman, then I'll move straight into Conviction arc. Because if they're already doing Black Swordsman, then there's no need for me to cover it. Yes, I would improve in quality while I do Black Swordsman, but realistically, I'd reach the cap of quality of videos that I'm gonna make by the end of like excuse me, by the end of the Golden Age arc, especially with the amount of work that I plan to put into the Eclipse and the production value that's going to be behind that. Realistically, I'd reach the type of quality work that I want to have by the end of that Golden Age arc, so I can move on straight to Conviction arc and move into the actual content that people are actually looking forward to seeing. And by then, I'll actually put more effort into the thumbnails of the videos, put more effort into everything, because by then the videos will be like they already are my best videos, but they'll be like leagues above everything, and I really want to push people to watch my best videos, obviously, because I'll be really proud of them. So I'll go full effort into the thumbnails, into the titles and everything. So I'm looking forward to that. It's gonna be fun. It's gonna be really fun. What is to be noted in this one, this is gonna be the longest introduction before the opening rolls in. All this that's happening is going to be before the introduction happens, unless I cut it right before Griffith joins in here. Guts joins into here. But I might just let it play and let the opening be late into the episode for once. Some anime do that. It's not like a full anime where I'm controlled by a studio. Although there's a... So yeah, I'll just do whatever I want, essentially. So far the openings have rolled out at a perfect time, kind of thing. I'll look up to see if I could have rolled in an opening at a better time. I'll look at the previous videos and see. Right, so let's just look through here. Let's see when the opening rolled in for all these videos. Oh yeah, first episode didn't have an opening. Well, the opening was the ending, because that's what usually happens. Hello, Meteor. The second episode, the opening rolled in. Yeah, right here. Yeah, so after the specific scene ended, after the argument that Guts had with Gambino, it made sense. Thank you, appreciate it, Yusuf. Second episode opening, third episode opening, started when Casca showed up, which is like a real get cooked. Have to wait a minute and a half, although a lot of people skip the opening, which is what I do as well. And then the fourth episode, the opening... Oh yeah, the opening was perfect on this episode as well. It's right after Griffith defeated Guts and told him to join. And the ending in here was perfect as well. In here I changed it and played the ending song at the last scene because it really fit with the scene. Episode 5, the opening played after the discussion that they had. And then episode 6 was again perfect because the opening played a bit later than usual and right after Guts enters to fight Zod. And one thing that I like about my opening is this, that I did. It goes to cinematic to full blown average shitty video kind of thing. Because the beginning of the opening was really good, and then it goes into just normal because I really didn't motion stuff in the trailer because I didn't want to set expectations high. I wanted expectations to be low so that people get overblown with the quality that they get. But now the quality of the opening is like such a shit quality compared to the episodes that you get. Which I'm planning to revamp the opening. What I plan to do is, what I'll probably do, when I reach a point where all the scenes in the opening are motioned, I will go back and probably gonna be for the final episode because there's a few scenes in the opening that are from the final episode where I'll go into the ending project and add in the motioned clips into the opening. So it'll be like what the opening would have looked like if I actually motioned it, kind of thing, for like the final episode. After that, but the second opening will be completely new and it'll be different compared to the first opening. I think it'll be like my best work rather than what I did in the first opening, which is my worst work. To really set expectations there. This one will set expectations high. Because the second opening, I'm expecting some huge developments with my skills and video quality in general with each episode as I continue to get better and better. But yeah, I do want to delete. What was before this OST? Right now I was playing as some Japanese letters. This one to the one before it. A lot of chill OSTs, not many battle OSTs, but hopefully you'll find there's like a few, like 100 anime that I want to go over before I move over to 2017 and all the way back to 2010, and then from 2010 all the way to 1990s. And so on and so forth. Yeah, since I have 55,000 OSTs right now, I really think that I'm gonna end up with 20,000 OSTs by the time I finish with anime. I'm gonna get into JRPGs. It'll be a lot. I looked at the amount of JRPGs there are. There is a lot of JRPGs, a shit ton of JRPGs. Getting the OSTs for all of them would be a lot of OSTs, and then just games in general after that. Japanese games first, and then overall any single game. Yeah, I'm gonna have hundreds and thousands of OSTs. Hundreds and thousands of OSTs. It's gonna be fun. I have to be really strict with like categorizing the OSTs. I have to have even more subcategorization just so that the OSTs, I can find them quick. You know, going through 100,000 OSTs to find one OST is gonna be a pain. But if they're split up efficiently, then that will help. This one's going to be fun to edit though. I'm going to incorporate some video editing with this one. Like video effects. The shame thing about, a bit of deviation, but the shame thing about editing this is I can't do impact frames in Berserk. Maybe when more demons show up, especially in Fantasia arc and everything. There are a few demons and demonic attacks and everything, especially when spells hit in. Never mind, I could do impact frames, but way later on, like 10 years in the future or some shit. When I reach Fantasia arc, then I can do impact frames with explosions and stuff like that. Because I really, really want to do impact frames. I could do it with like a lot of other series that I plan to motion. But impact frames are like a unique thing. I don't want to spam it. I want to use it strategically. But I'm looking forward to learning it and putting it to use when I reach some magic into Berserk, when a magic spell is used. So that would really put up the quality. I love impact frames. They really signify a good, obviously, impact. That's what they're supposed to do. And they're easy, fairly easy to do, looking at the tutorial. Like, When I say easy, I mean like it's simplistic to learn compared to actually animating. Because impact frames are sketches and lines. A lot of it is just lines going to a specific direction, black and white. So I can trace over a specific, and because the only difficulty is obviously what I'm doing is black and white. Having impact frames on work that's black and white is a bit weird and it's going to be hard to pull off. But just having the lines that go into a specific direction will help with that. Jesus fuck, someone's smoking some cheap cigar. And that's the thing, I don't mind smoke and cigars in general. I used to smoke a few years ago. But those cheap cigar smells, disgusting. Bad. You know. If you're gonna be cheap and just don't smoke. Without worried about costs. Jesus fuck. Worst thing is I have to keep my windows open because it's so fucking humid right now. There's not many good, like, amazing OSTs in this one. There's a few good OSTs. There's a lot of good OSTs that I'm keeping behind, but there's not a lot of like outstanding OSTs. There were a few outstanding OSTs in the previous one. OSTs that really like, yeah, this is extremely good. But there aren't a lot of outstanding ones. This is an outstanding one. It's so weird now. Like, I have thousands of OSTs that are new that I haven't used yet. I don't know when the fuck I'm gonna use them. I need to organize them first before I use them. Right now they're just in the OST folder. They're not actually put into battle OSTs, emotional OSTs, and I don't use OSTs that aren't put into a folder. So like the OSTs are there, but they're not exactly usable until I organize them, which I'll have to do soon. Like I'm really big in organization and stuff like that. Well, you know one thing as well. The funny thing. As soon as I got that verbal offer, 2 jobs have gotten in contact with me to progress into the interview stage. I'm here like, now really? Why not earlier? It's such a shit time as well. I'll still do the interview for it. I got an email today for a job that I progressed through the first stage, and I got to do the second stage, which is just online stuff, video questions and some tests that they have. I still do that. I got 2 weeks to do it, so I still do that, just in case they do retract that offer that I have. And I still have the internship that starts next month, again in case they retract the offer. As soon as I get the offer, I'm emailing that internship saying, look, I'm really sorry, I got a job that starts in the middle of that internship, and I really wanna. It's gonna be a busy month that month because during August I'm gonna be moving out. I'm going to be doing the intensive course, driving course for a full week. So like I'm gonna be busy with that. I'm going to be, you know, spending a lot of time editing because I want to finish as many videos as I can before I move out. Yeah, August is going to be a busy month, so yeah. So and the internship starts on the 2nd of August, which is why I want the offer to be quick so I can decline it a bit earlier, so I give him time to find someone else. I'll put it on my LinkedIn if anyone wants an internship. Get in contact with me so that they have someone to work with, or else the university will supply them with someone else. Like, I'll promote to try to find some other student who doesn't have a job, who needs experience, relevant experience, because this is a good internship to get some relevant accountancy experience. Ooh, this is something that I really want to perfect. I want to actually I want to actually animate. I want to get to the point where, the funny thing, one of the comments that I got in the videos, which really makes me happy, someone said, shit, I can't remember the exact comment. And I love that comment as well. I can't remember the exact comment. Let's find it. It's here anyway. This. Good job, guys. So that's so good job, guys. I was like, dude, that's so amazing that someone thinks that I'm working with a lot of people, because, you know, they see it as like a lot of work essentially, and a lot of improvement compared to the first episode, which is just a good perception. When it's just one person working on it, it means I'm doing good work, basically, which I'm really happy. And I want to live up to that quality that I want to provide, as well as the quality that people want to see for Berserk, as I continuously improve on a regular basis, on a monthly basis, to the point where I finish Berserk and I'd be known as the Berserk guy, essentially, as the guy who gave Berserk the adaptation that I couldn't get. Because unfortunately, Studio Taka would never finish Berserk. Unfortunately, but yeah. Studio Taka is doing like a episode every year, probably is going to be the schedule for now. They said they want to do an episode every 6 months, but that doesn't really work out as you'd want it, especially if you're a badly organized company. Someone had said in the comments, I'm not planning to respond to it, but I don't mind talking about it on stream when, you know, it's just 2 people watching. Someone has said that the organization on Studio Taka is really bad. So when it's bad organization and it being like animated and everything, I don't expect the project to go past the Black Swordsman arc. It's just because, I mean, the amount of content that they're adapting into each episode is very low as well. Which it's not like not complaining or anything of that sort. I'm just stating it as a statement of why I think they'll never be able to obviously finish Berserk, or do a decent amount chunk of Berserk, or even go past Golden Age, because 2 episodes to focus on one chapter, although it's a very long chapter, it'll take like 10 more episodes or so to finish the Black Swordsman, which means that if it's every half a year they release an episode, 5 years until they finish the Black Swordsman arc, if they even continue to do it by then, because that's not a guarantee that they will continue working in 5 years or something. Although they have been working for nearly 3 years now, so there's a high possibility that they will continue to work. But obviously the more time that they work, the more years, the more like it'll be like a place where stuff come and go. Like after episode 3, some stuff will probably leave, new stuff will join. It'll just be like a project like that, because obviously it's for free, so it's not a paid project. And that kind of will hinder productivity, and why I think that they won't be able to, you know, finish Berserk, let alone reach the Conviction arc. So like for now, I'll probably skip Black Swordsman arc, and it'll be an arc where I'll return to if Studio Taka like never finish it. Because I'd rather focus on the other arcs. and leave the arc to them. Because their adaptation is like 10 times better than mine. But that's the only competition that I have in the studio, in the Berserk field, which is like competition that I'll never be able to reach. I might be able to reach quality-wise in episode, like the episode 1 quality, which is what I'm aiming for, even better than episode 1. Like what I'm trying to reach is like a mid between episode 1 and episode 2, because obviously episode 2 has a lot of animated work, which I won't ever be able to do. But I want to reach that in between where I do a lot of motioning, a lot of animating, where walking and running things. But at the same time, not like such fluid scenes where they redraw their own things. I'm looking forward to that, though. Looking forward to that. Maybe I get to a point where I can actually draw and really start to provide content that's similar to episode 2 that they had. Which is that I'll never say it's impossible. It's not impossible, because that's one thing that I do want to get into, is to learn to animate after like I learned everything. Like if I get to a point where I have learned everything that I can learn from just motion comic, and there's nowhere to go other than to really actually animate, then I will animate, but only when I get to that point. Which I think it'll take a while. There's a lot of stuff that I can motion. Like, there's a lot of possibility when it comes to motioning before needing to learn to animate. And what I'm partaking in this episode will take a while to master. The using the full motioning, full animation essentially of running and animals, strutting and everything. That'll take a while to master. So when I do master it, then I can look into actually animating some things, which would be a bit of a weird one, because obviously for me, I look for shortcuts to increase productivity. So I think what I'll do to help with learn to animate and everything of that sorts is I motion a scene, what I usually do right now essentially, and I go to Adobe Animate and draw in-betweens and go over and trace after the motion aspects to draw in movements. So tracing after motion videos essentially. So like for example, episode 6, I'd trace after each scene and really draw over and make specific changes, and that would be how I'd try to learn to animate, learn to draw and animate at the same time. Until I get like good at it after a few years, where to the point where I can actually draw and without having to trace over the motion work, and then I can actually animate after like 5 years or something. Because the thing is, it's the unfortunate thing. It'd be nice to put like the Fantasia arc as the highest quality work, where I learned to fully animate a scene in Black Swordsman. In the Fantasia arc, but it was the end of the Fantasia arc, and the arc after that, which should presumably the final arc. But with Miura dying, obviously that's impossible now, but it's still possible to do in the last chapter of Berserk. There's going to be new chapters that will come out, I'm assuming, because with the way that Kentaro Miura works, he spends a lot of time on chapters that are done, just going over every single detail and passing it to the team and everything. So I'm assuming there are a few chapters that are done, that are drafted and everything, that just need to be finished drawing, which can be given to his team to finish the drawing for. And then after that, which is, I'd say, a fair thing to say, because one of the members of the team tweeted after his death saying that they'll try their hardest, which presumably means that they will work on Berserk at least for the drafted chapters that they have. So I'm guessing there'll be 5 chapters of Berserk to really conclude the Fantasia arc as efficiently as possible. Because the Fantasia arc is like right at its end too. And then it'll just be and those chapters will be the ones that I'd work to really animate and try to animate those chapters, because obviously it'll be the end of the Berserk project. It's gonna be weird though. I do reach that, because it'll be a project that I'd have, by that time would have done for like nearly 20 years or something, 15-20 years. Like that's half of what I've lived right now, more than half of my life right now. So it's weird. Like just to think that I'd spend like, presumably I'm living until 100, right? If I don't die of unnatural causes. So if I live to 100, like 15 years on Berserk is 15% of my life on one project. It's a lot of time. So it'll be weird when I reach that final episodes that I have to release, and then releasing it and having to move on to another project. Because realistically, I'm done with Berserk in 2025, 2030. Yeah, 2035. Realistically, right? Obviously, there's things that won't make me able to reach that realistic plan. But 2035 is like what I wanna end the Berserk project. Being a few years late is fine, but not like 2040. I don't want to reach 2040. As close as I can to 2045 is preferable to finish the project in. And after that, it'd be whatever project that'd be next. Like, but by then, I'd be like, realistically, Jesus, like thinking about it, I'd be nearly 40 by the time I'm finished with Berserk. Like near my retirement. Nowhere near my retirement, but close to my retirement. So I'll be able to take a project as long as one more project as long as Berserk before I go to retirement, basically. Work retirement, and I'll have more time to edit. More. But what would I do after Berserk? That's the thing. I plan to do things during Berserk, and if I don't finish them during Berserk, I'll do them obviously after Berserk. But like, I don't think they'll take as long as Berserk. Berserk is a very long project. It's a lot of arcs, a lot of chapters, a lot of long chapters. And overall, it's going to be a lot of, like, over 100 episodes to be released for Berserk. And there's never going to be a project as long as that I'll take in and work on. So, what would I work on after Berserk? It's weird to think of. I mean, in 20 years, maybe something else comes out that's like really nice and that I really like, that doesn't have an anime that I jump into. Or the work that I really enjoy, the other manga that I read. I'll go over and motion them and give them that anime treatment. So yeah, realistically I still have projects, but as long as Berserk, I doubt it. A lot of the other projects that I have are like fairly short, and maybe Vagabond will reach that near as long as Berserk. Probably it. Vagabond is going to be an annoying kind of thing to do, to cover. When I cover all of it, because it's fairly long. But thankfully with Vagabond, it's split into fairly decently long arc, so I could do like a season, an arc a season or 2 arcs a season. Have you ever heard of Green Blood? I have not, no. Because if I hadn't started Vagabond by the time that I finished Berserk, then Vagabond would probably be the next project that I'd do for like 10 years or something. And then after Vagabond, it'll just be random small projects, realistically. Movies and shit like that. Maybe after Berserk or after Vagabond, whichever way, after whatever, I'll just take a little break from full core thing adaptations and focus on movies. With the movies, I can release like a movie every year or so. Every year and a half or something like that. Say every 2 years. Maybe I'd change the focus from animated series to movies after a while. Just to really take a break from the monthly schedule to just a project that I release. There's one thing that I can do, which I never planned to do for Berserk, is just edit all the episodes, and after like a year of editing or 2 years of editing, then release it on a weekly basis. I don't know if I'll ever do that for Berserk. I'll put a poll on YouTube. It depends on the fan base and what they want. Would they rather, you know, stay with the monthly schedule, where they get an episode as soon as it's done, or would they prefer the me finishing everything and getting it on a weekly basis? I'm guessing people would prefer the monthly one, obviously, because they'd get something in the month rather than absolute silence for like a year and a half until they finally get the 12 episodes, which is fine production time, to be honest, because that's around the amount of time that you know wait for an anime to be produced. But I'm just working on one project. Realistically, when I retire, hopefully I still keep my speed, like in my 50s or something, when I retire from working full time and focus on just motion manga, hopefully I still have my speed and enough income to be able, savings and dividend payouts, to be able to hire enough help to you know, do the Photoshop and cutting for me, that I can work on multiple projects a year and really have a studio. Like I haven't official. Maybe soon. Sorry for the long response. Maybe soon, Sushi. I have like a lot of series to put on my list, so I don't plan to add any more. But yeah, so you know, maybe studio. I might as well actually be an official studio by the time I'm 50s. You know, really hiring multiple people to work for me, to help Photoshop and everything, and really trying to get in contact with artists to give them a quote-unquote anime, and get to a point where I can hire some animators who work under me, and you know, get a decent budget from a studio to be able to cover a animated project. Because for me, if a studio pays enough for the staff, and then that's enough to cover a season, and a motion season. So like realistically, if a studio wants me to or a mangaka or writer or whatever I get in contact with wants me to, comic writer wants me to, artist sorry, to finish a piece of work in a year, then obviously they need to, you know, pay up a decent amount of money. You know, if I have 2 people who cut for me on a full-time basis, then I'd need to pay him like let's say £8 an hour. 8 times by 7 times by 5 times by 52. So like a bit low. £10 an hour. For 8 hours, times that by 5, times that by 52, yeah, 20k a year for the Photoshoppers. And if I have like 3 of them, whoops, then that would be like for Photoshoppers. And then like 2 animators that get paid 30k. So that would be 60k. That's all the budget that I'd need. That's the thing. And I can add more animators to work on 1 year the motion for me. Like, if all I need for Photoshop work and colorists, let's say colorists, Photoshop. So 2 colorists, 2 Photoshop artists, which is a bit low, but I mean, my type of work is not colored, it's more black and white, right? I don't think I'd ever get into like coloring the work that I do. But let's say I have to really push up the work and do Photoshopping instantaneously for everything. Let's say 5 workers Photoshopping at 20k a year. I'll have 100k on that. And if I get a budget of a million to work on a season, then let's say I spend 600,000 on animators, giving them 30,000 each or so, around that. Like 20 animators, 5 editors, and then I'd have like 300 left to the budget for promotion of the season. Something along those lines. That's like doable with a project that funds the anime with $1 million, which is a bit low for anime funding, obviously, with no profitability on my end, because obviously by then my plan is to have dividends that pays for my money. So the money that I'd make if I were to have a studio MIS would all go to the workers and like promotion and stuff like that, with nothing going to my pockets. Most of it going to the studio, improving studio. If it gets to a point where I actually hire 20 animators to work on every single project that I have, then obviously get them to move into the UK or something, get them to move into a studio, especially if they, because obviously if I were to look for animators, they'd be in Japan, because I like the Japanese style of animators, or weebs who are learning to animate. And you know, if they're in Japan, the offer would be for like a job offer. If I were to open a studio, realistically would be like, the benefits would be a, you know, 25 to 30k profit salary, and then a apartments as well. Like a discount, obviously, because you know, hopefully by then I'll also be a landlord, so I can like give out apartments at a huge discount to my own staff. So like if the apartment costs like 800 a month, then I give it to them for like 400 a month. So the money that I'd make would be, as a landlord, would be from people who live in the apartment outside of my stuff, and the dividend payouts from stocks that I have. And we keep operating under a revenue of $1 million a year, which all goes into cost. So it will be zero profit company. And we just focus on picking up a project a year kind of thing. Like that's like my dream of where I want this type of studio to reach. But it's such a near impossible kind of dream where I don't think we'll be able to reach. But if I'm able to realize that, then that'll be like perfect. But I doubt it. Especially like the initial cost of setting up a studio and really getting that to be like accepted as a type of medium. Maybe if I keep doing it, it'll be accepted as a type of medium where people will be able to digest it, and people will look like for specific work to be done in this type of style. And obviously the main type of work that I'd look for to adapt like this would be like webtoons first. And if the Webtoons community like accepts it and really enjoy the work that I put out in there, with a decent budget behind it, whether it be fundraised or not, then we can start improving as a studio. So like realistically, if I start as a studio with an animator and just myself, then I'd work with a budget of 58k a year needed only, either raised, community raised, or paid by the author, and we just keep moving, improving, and set a name to be able to be really approached by more studios to, you know, animate my work, kind of. And depending on the budget that people have and studios want to put into, the amount of workers that will be allocated to it would be based on that. So like if a studio only puts in like 100,000 as their budget for the whole season, for a whole 12 episode season, then obviously with that scenario, a lot of stuff won't be fully motioned. It'll be motioned like the usual motioning that I do in Berserk, where I'm doing motioning, but a lot of stuff won't be animated. So I'd be able to only hire like 3 animators or something that would do the work, and animating only specific scenes, rough animations and everything. And that's the best thing about what I do. And if I ever do set up a studio, the animation will only need to be black and white. It doesn't need to be like, it can be rough, it can be stuff like that. It doesn't need to be like super clean. I don't need a cleaner or anything of that sort. Obviously not too rough, still lined up and everything, but yeah, you know what I mean. So to that scenario, like if a project were to approach, and with the 100,000 budget, ability to only hire like 3-4 animators, then the animators would only work on like fight scenes and shit like that, while everything else would be done by me, kind of thing. Like that's doable. 100k budget, me hiring a few animators to do the action scenes, and then everything else doing it by myself. Like that's actually doable, kind of. That's what I'm looking forward to. Hopefully setting up in like 30, 40 years. If I still have that vision in 30, 40 years, and I still want to do it, that would be fun. Hello, Zex Gaming. Just chilling. Just chilling and imagining officially maybe considering opening a studio Amias in like a few like 60 years or something. A long time away, but something that I still would give a think over. It'd be fun. It'd be fun. Damn. I need to drink my protein shake. But we did more work than I expected this stream. I unexpected to go over like 10 panels, but we went over that by a decent amount, decent chunk. I'll end the stream in like 10 minutes or so. Unless OSTs have, like, they're not that far off from completing, then I might do a bit more. I'll look over how many OSTs are left. What do you think about Netflix adaptation of Shuma Valkyrie now? It's not me, it's the Kazu named by channel, but if you remember me. Sorry, I don't remember. I didn't enjoy that adaptation personally. I was gonna make a video talking about it, but no, just no. Seeing the toxic community and them on the tweets of obviously it's a very small minority that are replying to tweets of Shuma Valkyrie and saying that the anime trash, talking to the community manager, essentially the dude who runs the Twitter who has nothing to do with the anime, and making him see those comments is like cringe. It is cringe, and I don't want to, even though my reach is small compared to like big content creators, I don't want to feel that toxic behavior, so I'm just not talking about it. Because when people have that kind of their feelings of displeasement validated it even more, they feel like they're in the right when trashing people, which is just no. Yeah, I do not want to entice that. I'm just leaving it. Not putting out my dislike of the series, because harassing people on Twitter is fucking cringe. And if I see anyone who follows me do that shit, I'm straight up telling them off. Kind of weird to say, but yeah, because that shit's cringe. And if anyone actually follows my channel does that shit, get out, unsubscribe and fuck off. And then shit. No, I ended up clicking in the same place twice. Or at least it doesn't like select a ridiculous amount of things. Yeah, I only use Twitter mainly to keep up with artists and also update. It's the best way for me to update. Because I could do it in Discord, but it's a bit weird posting messages in Discord to update. So I just tweet to update, and then the tweet gets updated into Discord. The people who don't use Twitter to still be updated through Discord, which has really helped. I wish I'd used this way to, inform people of my productivity earlier, so that people won't have to ask, oh, how much is done of this, how much is done. People don't have to ask anymore of, oh, how much is done of this episode, or how much is done of this video that you said you were working on. You could just look at my update channel, channel on Discord, or look at my Twitter on a weekly basis. I put up an update on how much is actually done, so that helps a lot. Although I still get comments that say, when will part 2 of Shiva vs. Raiden be? But those are like rare comments now, ever since I released part 1. But one thing is, I didn't post it on Discord. I didn't see a big reason to do so, but Volume 1 is out to be pre-ordered for Shumasa no Valkyrie. So that's that. The physical copy will be released in the 18th of January, and the digital copy will be released on the 26th of October. A bit long until it releases, but not that, long of a wait. Only 3 months until it releases digitally. And 3 months after that, it'll be released physically. It's got, this one will be obviously English. It's got French, it's got Italian, it's got Spanish. I don't think it's got German. Maybe it'll get German soon. More likely than not, I'll get a German. German community, anime community is fairly big. They'll probably get German soon. But German community for Shumasa no Valkyrie isn't big. The German community is big, but for Shumasa no Valkyrie, I don't think it's big. Because like some of the new releases into the different communities, Shumasa no Valkyrie was already big there before they released it there. Like when they released the Spanish translation, there was already a huge Spanish community for Shumasa no Valkyrie. That's like a huge community. So it was like a given that it would be released there. Same with the English community. There's already a big English community for Shumasa no Valkyrie. So it was like an obvious thing that they release an English translation. And they finally did. But German, I don't know if they have a German community. And that's the thing, like with Germany's, in Europe in general, anime and manga is more normalized, especially like France, Germany. They're like they have like a lot of volume sales when it comes to manga. And obviously, even the UK is not part of EU anymore. It's in Europe that UK sells a decent amount of manga copies as well. But I don't think Shumasa no Valkyrie is popular in Germany. I don't think merchant manga as well in general is popular in Germany. If a merchant manga, if there is a fan translation of Shumasa no Valkyrie out there, that would help. Like releasing a merchant manga video, a German merchant manga video, to really pick up the hype. I think that would help reach that community and everything, and really persuade translators to license it and sell it. Shall we do that? Shall we look for translations in countries where it's not licensed and try to reach that population and give it that popularity there, so that it tries to get a serialization and a official translation there, if a fan translation is available, that is. Because I'm down to doing that. Oh yeah. I might do that. Shit, it's not 99. It's not 98, so it's 99. Because it's something that I promised ages ago, of covering Shumasa no Valkyrie in different languages. But obviously, due to me channel getting taken down, I never was able to do it. But I think I can pretty much do that now, if the translation is available. So I'll look through what translation is available for Shumasa no Valkyrie, fan translations, and try to cover these other languages if they don't have an official volume. Because as unfortunate as it is, motion manga is like one of the easiest ways to get people into specific manga, fight ones specifically. You see a lot of people who buy manga who, like a decent amount of them in the specific community, who know of a motion manga. So like you look at Attack on Titan, Soul Madness' name is known there and respected to a high degree. You look at Bleach, and again Soul Madness' name is known there and looked at to a higher degree. You look at Seven Deadly Sins, and you got Zaki-san and Ganja, who are known and respected to a high degree in that community. People who got into the series, into the mangas especially, and started buying the volume because of these motion manga producers. So motion manga, and magazines are starting to see that motion manga is something that really interests people. They're starting to do that to really promote specific things, whether that be volumes or anything of that sort. They're starting to dabble into that because they see that people love seeing their manga being motioned. They love that fluidity in manga. You know, especially if the video does well and views and everything, people will be like, you know what, I'll give the manga a read. That works for promotion wise, and the magazines are seeing that it works. Chainsaw Man got that trailer for their volume 7, I think it was, and that promotional video did really well. So like, these promotional videos for volumes are doing well when it comes to actually promoting the volumes. Attack on Titan partakes in that promotional aspect and puts in motion into their promotional videos. But yeah. Yeah. What I'm looking for in the motion manga kind of thing is to peak in actually motioning. One of the things that I really dislike is how motion manga is split up into basically, because when I started it was already like that, so I can't exactly change it. Motion manga is still panels being PowerPoint presented, right? That's what motion manga is. Motion comic is what motion manga sounds like. So motion manga is PowerPoint manga. Motion comic is actual motion manga, actual motioning. I want motion manga, or I can't really say motion manga because I don't think that definition will ever change. I want motion comics to be more used, more popular. More creators looking to do that and really expand on that specific industry, essentially. I want the expectations of quality in motion manga videos to increase, to reach motion comic status. Problem is, it's near impossible. Like, I can fight for that, trying to change that, and by putting videos like that and increasing people's expectations of quality, and really kind of trying to expand and essentially do what Soul Madness did, where Soul Madness fostered a few editors out of him making videos who did the same thing that he did, where I try to foster video editors who try to motion the same way that I'd motion my motion comics, and kind of like have that repeat into a point where motion comics continues and improves throughout the generations. and becomes more known and respected and expected. Well, that's like a really, really, really long-term kind of thing. And kind of hard to do with the projects that I focus on. Like, the Berserk project may get famous, and like the current project that I'm doing may get famous in like 10 years or something. It may start pulling good views every single episode, although I still doubt it. But there's a possibility that I start pulling the like 10,000 views every episode by then. 10 to 100,000 views every episode. Like there is a possibility in like 10 years it does that. But that's the only really big project that I plan to partake in that I think will hit those views. Hunter x Hunter has that potential. Vagabond has that potential. Magi has that potential, I guess. Although Magi's kind of dead now. But those are the only series that I can think of that has the potential of reaching that viewership. Everything else, I don't expect it to reach that kind of viewership ever. Which is kind of hard to really change the industry when all I'm doing is stuff that's not really read or known or you know, cared about much, since I'm focusing on series that don't have an anime adaptation to actually motion. So yeah, that's kind of gets into that goal in mind that I want to fight for. Yeah, let me delete this OST. Cues. Whoa. Where am I at? Where was I at? Shit. Let me find cues again. There. Okay. There's a lot of OSTs available. This will be the last one that I do then. Something that I used to do is actually, you know, move the SFX essentially. I think I'll get back into that. Because for a while I was motioning the first 6 episodes of Berserk, I didn't, you know, focus on SFX because I did that in the Attack on Titan video. I didn't want my the motion comic video to just be me, you know, moving the SFX and not doing much motioning. So I focused on other things. But I think I'll go back to SFX, starting from episode 7 slightly and moving on to the other stuff while I have pinned down the type of work that I want to do. Like I've pinned down a normalcy for the next videos that I want to improve from essentially. I want every episode to look like episode 6 and continue upwards if I obviously can. Well, episode 7 will take a huge leap. So after episode 7, I'd want every episode to look like episode 7. I don't think there's going to be much of a big leap after episode 7 other than perfecting the fluidity of animations. Because I don't think I could do much after moving things. Like 3D is something that I want to implement into Berserk, but there isn't a lot of panels that I can make 3D. And I've done a decent amount of 3D, so it's not like I'm going to be improving, it's just a matter of finding a panel to implement it into. Moving is the thing that I'll spend probably the next 6 episodes from 7 to 12 really trying to perfect. It'll be like smooth enough probably by episode 12 to the point where second core will be really perfecting the movement, really perfecting everything. And then after that, I wouldn't know what I'd do. I think after that, I really try to make panels that I don't make 3D. Like right now, the only panels that I make 3D are the ones that are like fairly easy to make 3D because of them being straightforward. Can't explain it, but yeah. But maybe when I start the second core, I try to do more things that are 3D, especially with the Eclipse. I really try to pop out the scenes and motion them efficiently and really start like smooth running animations, and you know, people can look at the work and I really do dynamic and fluid action scenes, especially in the Eclipse, where people can look at it and think, holy shit, this is better than some of the anime that we see. So if I get to that point, that'd be perfect. If I could do fluid animated pieces without actually animate, although it is animating, then that'd be perfect. Especially if I could do it by the end of the Golden Age arc. So because after Golden Age arc, see the Conviction arc or Black Swordsman arc based on the productivity of Studio Taka. But let's say probably more than not Conviction arc, and then going back to Black Swordsman if Studio Taka kind of drops it. Then, holy shit, I'm looking forward to the quality that you'd see in the Conviction arc and all these other arcs, where it would be compared to the 3D anime counterparts and held in such high regard. Because right now, the counterpart of the Golden Age arc is a good adaptation. Thank you, appreciate it. I thought it'd be as good as Studio Taka. They're a studio, but yeah, comparing to individuals, I need to look more into specific editors, because I know there's a good amount of individual editors who are good, if not better than me. But I don't watch a lot of motion comics, unfortunately. I need to look into them. I don't want to develop that ego. I think I'm the best individual motion comic editor when I'm not. I want to title myself that when I actually am. Right now, I'm 100% sure. Oh, one that comes into mind is the one that does Made in Abyss. I've watched one of his videos before. He does a lot of motioning, but I think I can reach his. Although I haven't watched a lot of his videos, obviously because I haven't read Made in Abyss yet in a while. Ah, shit. I think I can reach his quality after this episode. Or after like episode 8, after this first score. Then the only competition that I have would be Studios. Which I will never be able to reach Studio Taka. I'd never be able to get that quality. But I still look forward to making animated work that's in a... Because the best thing about mine, because it's never going to be fully anime, it's going to be motion comic, is that you can actually expect some consistency. And because I update regularly, you'll always expect consistency. I was in your shoes when waiting for a specific project and not getting updated, and really being frustrated because the people behind the project don't update at all. What's that? Thank you, appreciate it. So far I have a lot of mind of what I want to improve, and hopefully I'll continue to improve and have time to edit. That's the biggest thing, obviously, time. Thank you. Will do, will do, will do. Fluidity is my middle name. Well, not for now, but what I'm going to try to reach for. Although fluidity has increased exponentially with every single episode, head turns have fluidity. Hello, Hassan. Head turns actually have fluidity now in my videos, which is like weird, especially how they look in the first episode. I really want to get into creating a video by the time that the Black Swordsman, not Black Swordsman, Golden Age season is done. By the time this season is done, I really want to create a compilation of how the videos have improved throughout the year. This years. Essentially, I'm expecting 2 years to focus on Black Swordsman. Sorry, Golden Age. Holy shit. So it'd be nice to have a compilation of where I was and where I am. Definitely going to be doing that sooner or later. In like 2 years or something. Just to showcase the head turn, where it used to be squishing the head and unsquishing the head, to what it is now, which is an actual more fluid motioning, where I'm even moving the neck to really make it look a bit natural, a bit more natural than it used to. That's like the kind of stuff that I want to get into. It's going to be very, very nice. especially having a compilation of the difference. There we go. Did I save this? Yeah, I did. This will be the last one. I know I said the last one will be the last one, but this is before Griffith's entrance, and that'd be nice to end the day with before Griffith enters, and focus tomorrow on the whole scene. I think tomorrow I can actually focus on the whole scene, Griffith's entrance, and what they talk about during that, as well as everything after that. I think that's doable. There's only like 90 images left in this folder. I've done a lot in this folder already, which is something that I'm really happy about so far. The productivity has been high, which I'm hoping you guys will be glad for. It means that if I can keep up with this productivity, obviously the pace will slow down more likely than not a little bit when I get into actually video editing, because I have to do more motioning than usual with animals and walking and stuff like that. But hopefully I'll be able to finish the episode like a week before the end of the month, or maybe even more. Last episode I finished 3 days, I think it was, before its release date. I'm gonna finish this a week before the release date, and finished episode 8 like nearly 10 days before the release date. I keep going with that to the point where it may be possible to release. Oh shit! Shouldn't have gone down. I wasn't supposed to go down. Maybe possible to release 2 episodes on December, even if I'm working full time. That might. You know, if I continue with this productivity and really be super productive during this time before I start work, then I might be able to do that. But mostly it'd be like not focusing so much on the other projects, so I'll have to like not focus as much on Promised Neverland and all these other projects. But I don't mind that, since Berserk is like the #1 project. Promised Neverland, I never set out a release date. I still work on it. Never set out a release date, so I don't mind not giving it its like full focus, because it was never the main project. So I'm not like fully strict on a specific release date, although obviously I still want to release it, but you know, it's not like completely strict on it, especially with the amount that I'm improving. I'm sure people will be fine if they receive a Promised Neverland project that's like so enhanced by the focus that I have on because of the focus that I have on Berserk and how much I've improved through Berserk. So yeah, the only things that are left in this panel will be the leaves. Shit. Well, but now, because of the focus that I have on mangas that don't have an adaptation, I don't know. Obviously, with the future, if the biggest thing that I have planned, if I actually do end up owning, although it's like a faraway dream that I don't think is realistic, but if it does end up happening and I do end up having a Studio Amayas, then the only way that I do other people's like original work would be if I was like contracted to do it, so I can hire other assistants while I focus on my personal projects. Because I still want to focus on my personal projects, but if there is like I could set up a project. Obviously, it'd be hard to be able to find that kind of people who want to contract me when I'm nobody, essentially. So essentially what I do is try to work with webtoon artists to a point where I'm known in the webtoon community to doing seasonal episodes, seasonal anime and stuff like that, to the point where I can be hired by specific artists to cover their series, especially if I get to a point where I actually help their reader base increase. Like the specific series that I'll cover, like I'll get permission from, more likely than not, like obviously Western artists, like Unordinary and other series that are Western, where I can communicate properly with the writer, and after getting permission and releasing it, and if it does well, if it catches the eyes of other motion comic artists enough for them to start paying for my service, then we'll see where that goes. If like that's a possibility that I would look into in a few years, to really establish myself as like a more professional in this field, essentially. But that would be like after I really nailed down the work and everything. "93 panels have been photoshopped. Unfortunately, I didn't do anything in these 2 days. Today, though, I did like 2.25 hours of work. I'm hoping, this is the hope of me, that tomorrow I'll do 3-4 hours of work, and every single day until the 9th. That I'll do 4 hours of work every day. 9th, probably doing only like 2 hours on Berserk. On the 10th, probably no. 10th probably 2 hours of work, and then 11th probably like 1 hour of work on Berserk, and then back into like repeat, rinse and repeat. Copy, paste. Wait, no. Copy, paste. And then like the sum of what could be done in these, plus what is done, I might be able to do 90 hours this month on this episode of Berserk. Realistically, I'd spend around 60 hours or so on each episode of Berserk. So I might be able to like finish the episode there. Possibility. Not guaranteed, but I might be able to finish the episode like 10 days before its release date, which would be great. Seeing that, I might even put in like on the 4th, like every day 4 hours. And the other hours of the day will be editing Slam Dunk. Because that way I can finish the episode and release it. Well, not release it, but finish the episode and have it ready in like 12 days. I'd be very happy with that. And for your answer, sorry for the long reply, but more fights. Well, Berserk is the one that I enjoy, so episodes. So the priority of what I enjoy the most is episodes, then fights, then chapters. Movies will probably be open there as well, but yeah. I might be able to release the episode, finish the episode, not release it, in like 12 days. And start working on the next episode so that I really do have a lot of like productivity done before I have to move and everything. So I'd hopefully be able to finish episode 8 early August and do most of episode 9 by end of August, so that when I move, all I have to do is just a little bit of tweaking here and there to finish episode 9, so that I'm like an episode ahead, so that I could keep working and release 2 episodes in December and really have that break, because I'm looking forward to having that break from Berserk. I'll have, realistically, January, February, March, and obviously December, because December, 2 episodes will be released. I won't edit a lot in December, so I have like 3-4 months of not full break, because I still have to edit and make sure I'm on top of the project, but I won't have to edit 60 to 100 hours a month. I only have to edit a little bit, because I want to be more organized with the second core of Berserk, so that the panels are all photoshopped. Because what I'm doing with this approach is I'm photoshopping the panels and everything, and then cutting the panels, and then like cutting the characters that I want to cut, and then I video edit, and then I choose OSTs, and then I fix things, and then I release. What I want to do for the second core is essentially go to each of the 12 episodes in the second core, which panels would be like this, and cut in the panels, so all that cutting away and everything of all the panels, cut in that all before the releases and everything. So do that all in like the first month or something, like during December or something, during most of December and some of January. Do all that cutting and everything, so that during February I could do the cutting of characters for the first few episodes, just focus on that. And then during March, I can start working on episode 1, whilst also working on an opening and an ending. And more likely than opening, because I can focus on an opening first and then an ending later, because the first episode will only have an opening at the end of the episode, and then the second episode will have an opening and ending. I'm looking forward to that. That'd be like a good approach, working on that, to have it a bit more organized and a good idea of how long each episode will be and how much work I have to put in each specific episode, and really plan out what each panel, what kind of motioning that I'll do for each panel and everything, so that, you know, having that good organization will help to be able to do work while I am, you know, working. Just checking my emails. Didn't get the written offer, but yeah. Productivity has been nice there. Productivity has been nice there. Let's go over what we've done today, and overall throughout the last few days. 93 panels. So episode... We did 27 panels today. An increase of 3% overall, 3.5% productivity overall. So if I do, I want to double that, that's the thing. I want to double that to do 60 a day, essentially 60 panels a day. So that tomorrow, hopefully, I'll do 7%. We shall see. And if I do 7% every single day, then I'll be able to hopefully do a lot of it more efficiently. And if I open up my timesheet, I don't have for this month, so that's like whatever, right? Boom, boom. But starting this month, what time did I start streaming? But yeah, I was checking. I got distracted by something. I was checking how many hours. I started at 7:30. So 19:30 is when I started, and I'm ending at 10 p.m. 2 hours and a half today. We got good amount of hours clocked in. Tomorrow, I'll try to be a bit more productive with my time. Hopefully, I'll sleep at like 11. Which will definitely mean that I wake up at like 6, 7 or something like that. So that like I'll work from 9 a.m. Well, good luck to you on that whenever you do work. I work probably from 9 a.m. until 1 p.m. and then go to eat. and play games and shit. So like eat for like 30 minutes, play games for like an hour or so, an hour and a half. So let's say 2 hour break, and then I would start again from 3 p.m. sorry, all the way until probably 8 p.m. That's probably going to be the schedule that I'll have for the next few days while I try to catch up on everything. Like, that'll probably be it. I'll bolden that because that's not exactly done yet. But that's going to be the plan. If I do that every single day, I can do like 60-hour weeks. 50-60-hour weeks. Full-time work, essentially. I want to do a full-time editor before I work full-time. Because this is the only time that I'll be able to edit as much before I have to actually not edit as much. So I want to do the full-time editing. I always wanted to do full-time editor. So I'll do it now. Working as a full-time editor. I'm looking forward to that. It's going to be like a month of full-time work. See what I can do in the full-time work. And plus get my brain into getting used to working long times. Because I'm going to have to get used to that. Working long times, 100% productivity. Because as I said earlier in this stream, I don't want to do overtime when I'm working. I do not want to do overtime. So rather than working 70% efficiency and working from 9 to 9, I want to put 100% efficiency and work from 9 to 5, and that's it. I want to have all my tasks done by the end of the day, by the end of the week. I don't want to stay behind. So I want to try that full-time editor thing. Although editing on my own thing, I could actually have gotten a full-time editor job. I would have applied for one of the editor for one of the channels to work on Hunter x Hunter analysis videos. But obviously, since I got this job, I didn't apply for that editing position. So I could have actually done that if I didn't get this preliminary offer. Although it's not official, it's still a verbal offer is still something. Especially since in the interview they said that they'd be willing to offer me a position in another office if I don't get one in the city that that's preliminarily applied for. So yeah, I'm like 95% sure I'll get the offer, the written offer, the contract, the official contract, just because they said they would. Verbal contract, verbal acceptance, and if not for the city that I'm looking at, then another city, which I wouldn't like the other city because it's at the edge of London. But yeah. So yeah, I could have worked as an actual full-time editor, but like getting paid for my work, doing weekly Hunter x Hunter videos while also doing this. But instead, I'll just work as a full-time editor doing my thing. So like realistically, I'd put like all these 3 hours would go into Slam Dunk probably, something of that sorts, and these 5 hours, 4 of them would go into Berserk, and 1 hour would go into like Promised Neverland or something, or the other project that I want to work on. I want to finish a lot of projects. The new project that I have, the one that I want to finish, before I have to move. Like it's only 300 panels that I have to work on, or so. So I want to finish it and just release it as quick as possible. So that'll probably be like the hour that I have on my date. That's what I'll probably put it on. That way I can finish Berserk, really high amount of hours on Berserk. Finish also Slam Dunk. If I put 3 hours a day on Slam Dunk, I can probably edit like 45 minutes of 45 minutes of Slam Dunk a day. Enough to be able to finish it in like a week or something. So that hopefully I'll be releasing it in the middle of this month. The hardest part will be choosing OSTs. It'll probably take a really long time. But hopefully I'll be able to release that. But yeah, that's like the plan for now. And hopefully I'll be able to stick to it and release Slam Dunk videos, Haikyuu videos, and Diamond and Ace videos before the end of August. By the end of August, essentially. So look forward to that. There's going to be a lot of time that I'm going to put into working. And hopefully, realistically, consistent Berserk episodes, even if I work full time. I look forward to that, and realistically, you know, when I do work full time, I'll be working more than 8 hours a day. You know, not just working 9 to 5, but also working as an editor on my personal time, like 2-3 hours a day. So I'd actually be working 10-11 hours a day, close to 12 sometimes hours a day, editing videos, Berserk especially, whilst also working on, you know, as a auditor. So, which is why I want to edit like 9-10 hours a day on a regular basis to get really used to that productivity. I want to give myself a lot of energy. Like, one thing that I'm going to do always is get enough sleep, get 8-9 hours of sleep. I want to be active so that my body's healthy. I want to take vitamins, multivitamin pills and everything so that my body's healthy, so that I can actually work 10, 11, 12 hours a day. Because I want to be 100% energetic, so that I'm 100% efficiency throughout all these hours. But yeah, I look forward to that, and seeing how that will plan out, and hopefully I'll be able to push for that, and yeah, hopefully I'll be seeing you guys soon. I don't know when. As you can see, I want to put a lot of productivity in over the next few days, so I'll probably not stream for the next few days. But hopefully I'll be able to stream like every week or so. I still want to stream on a regular basis, so maybe I'll stream at like 8 PM to edit some more on stream, like a bit more relaxed editing. But yeah, hopefully I'll see you guys soon, and hopefully you'll enjoy the content that I'll be pumping out to try to catch up. See you guys next time, whenever that will be. Thank you for watching. Thank you for the support. See you next time. Peace.